Welcome back to the big question. Our guest tonight is Nairobi Governor Dr. Evans Kidero. Thank you so much for making time again for us. And like we said, we're asking tonight, are you satisfied so far or thus far with the governor's performance at the helm of the Nairobi City County? Send us your comments on 22422 and on Twitter using the hashtag. The big question, I'll look at some of your feedback here on 22422. Joyce from Embakasi says, Governor Kidero has failed Nairobians. The city is filthy with hawkers everywhere, street families all over, and no street lighting. He is a big letdown to us who voted for him. Wameru from Nairobi says, I like the way Dr. Kidero organizes and manages the county. Why doesn't he use the skills of economists and statisticians to optimize the use of scarce resources of the county, since there is none in the county? And then Karaoke Wanjohi from California says, Kidero is a very honest man, but cartels within the city hall are very corrupt. They even ask large amounts on the name of Kidero for signatures or even grab land. The governor will try and talk to us about that. And Kimani Nairobi, yes, Kidero is doing a fine job, way better than the lot that is politicking non-stop. Waiguru needs to clear away the very big number of ghost workers plaguing the county in order to free further resources for Mr. Governor to sort out this capital city. He'll also be talking about ghost workers. And finally, no, I'm disappointed by Dr. Kidero's performance. Our roads are in terrible condition, among other infrastructures. That is Eliud from Embakasi. Title deeds in Nairobi is still a big setback. A county like Machakos, we hear of serious projects done, like the Stadium Park and New Road, etc. I am not aware of any serious project in Nairobi, and that is where I begin, Honorable Governor. Is there one thing you can pride yourself with over the last 1 year and so months you've been in office as having done?
I was saying thank you very, very much, and it's nice to be here tonight.
Thank you.
Let me start by saying that, we were sworn in about the 27th of March in 2013. But by the time I was being sworn in, petition number 1, which was even before the presidential one, was already in courts. For the last 18 months, I've been in court over that petition. The other one was the unfortunate Shebes issue, which I regretted, I still regret.
Yeah.
And there was a third one. So this has just been cleared in the last two weeks.
Yeah.
So we are now ready to deliver on the mandate for which Nairobians elected us. And let me just start that, for you to deliver, you've got to have people. And I put a team in place, probably the most balanced, which reflects the face of Kenya, more balanced than probably any other county. The second thing is, Hussein, is Nairobi, having started in 1895, the first plan was done in 1927, the third plan in 1949, the fourth plan 63 and 73, none of them was ever implemented. For the first time, we've just completed an urban master plan, which will be used as a development blueprint for Nairobi.
And that is from when?
Immediately, as soon as it goes through the assembly, and we are ready to take it through it went through the citizen participation. Nairobians have been able to see it, they've been able to give their comments, and we will be taking to assembly when assembly resumes at the end of this month. In health, we're very, very proud of what we've done. When we took over, births in Pumwani was about 2,000, but we were losing 4.2% of the newborn, the kids who were born, which is twice the national average. We've reduced that to less than 1.5%. We were losing 20 mothers, which is 1% of the women who are giving birth. In the last 6 months, we haven't lost a single mother. We have established a maternity unit at Mbagathi Hospital of 120 beds. I've established a maternity unit at Mutuini Hospital, converting a kitchen of 50 beds. We've been able to equip through fence, not even through county facilities, given to ambulances to Pumwani, to Mbagathi, to Mutuini. And also, we've just designed, we are going to put in, we are going to build, expand Pumwani by put in 1.2 billion shillings. The design is complete. It's going to tender, and Mutuini as well. And
actually, our congratulations with that. I think the national government has actually lauded you, the Nairobi County, in terms of maternal health. Let's look at something you promised here in your pledges for 100 days in office. You stayed restoring order in the traffic flow in Nairobi and human traffic on CBD streets. Let's look at traffic flow in Nairobi. Would you just say you have failed in that? Speaking of what you pledged, 100 days in office?
Yes, because I've not delivered on on that pledge. One would say I failed, and I'm not going to argue with the people who elected me. But what it is that we need to redesign our roads. We've just put 1 billion shillings. We are working with Kura this year to get rid of some roundabouts, to do one-way streets, and to change some of the turnings, and that will cause some proper traffic flow.
Right.
And that will be happening within the next few months.
Right, and I'll ask you about roads, specifically what Nairobi County is supposed to do on what kind of roads fall under the Nairobi City County. But back to the traffic, you acknowledge that you failed in your 100 days pledge in terms of controlling the traffic in the city, in the traffic flow. There was a traffic light system you set up that cost about 400 million shillings, if I'm not wrong. There were traffic marshals. You were trading at about 86 million shillings. I believe this is money that was borrowed from the World Bank. This was at a cost, and taxpayers are going to pay for this. Are you saying we have failed entirely? We're not going to use these lights anymore? And if, let me just ask a question here from somebody on Twitter who says, it's actually Christopher Kinuthia, says, can you ask why there are traffic cops directing traffics at functioning traffic lights?
Hussein, we have traffic lights along Uhuru Highway all the way down. These are actually working, being controlled from a central control point. And unfortunately, certain times, and I think it's got to do with order with people, where people, interventions has to come sometimes because instead of seeing green, instead of seeing red, they see green, and instead of seeing amber, they see they see green. So yes, the traffic lights are working. They are, but at times, I mean, there is interventions just to return a bit of order.
Okay.
But also, what we must take into account is that there were some other developments which should have taken place, like diversion of trucks not to pass through town. This has been delayed because the southern bypass, we were taken to court, so it wasn't completed in time. But as soon as the southern bypass opens, which will be done within the next 6 months, we will see a great reduction in traffic, because most of the traffic coming from Mombasa will be diverted through the southern bypass all round through Karen, coming in at Kino.
So unless that happens, we'll still be living with this night?
Not unless it happens. It's going to happen. We will ensure it happens.
By when?
Within the next 6 months.
Within the next 6 months? We'll call you back after 6 months to prove that. You talk of, let's talk of urban transport plans. Where are we with that? Some say you have failed, just like previous predecessors, of course not governors, but other people in charge of Nairobi City Council, to deal with matatus entering the CBD. You have failed to deal with that.
I was saying matatus are there because they deliver service to 1.5 million million Kenyans.
Right.
But because of their capacities, there have to be more of them. And to be able to introduce high-capacity transport units, our roads need to be redesigned and need to be rebuilt. And to that end, we have designed 9 transport corridors, where we will have the BRTs, that's the bus rapid transit systems. The first construction of the BRT starts in November. That is from GSU going to North Airport Road. The second one starts from Holy Family Cathedral on Gong Road to Adams Arcade and Agureti Corner. The third one will be on Jogo Road to Kangundo Road. Right. So we under construction of this infrastructure takes time, and we will do them. And as we do them, we will introduce the huge capacity buses. 12-meter buses and the 18-meter buses.
Can you give us a time frame on that? When are we expecting that? We've heard that so many times, and that is why critics say, the governor knows there's a strong constituent of voters in the matatu business, and you really want to go and pushing them away and touch that?
That's not entirely true, because it is the same people who run the matatus who are going to be given the opportunity to be investors, because these people are investors, to invest in the high-capacity buses. We are currently forming the Nairobi Metropolitan Transport Authorities, which will be the body that will control management of transport, rail transport, tram transport, light rail transport, commuter rail, and bus rapid transit systems.
Right.
So with the first one, I think the first will be ready in 3 years, and that's when we'll introduce the buses.
In 3 years' time?
In 3 years' time.
In 3 years' time, okay. That's a long time, okay. The other question here is about the cameras that you installed with the traffic, next to the traffic lights. Was this for security reasons, plus also traffic, or just traffic only? I
think the cameras are for security, and because they're security, probably you'll allow me not to speak much about them. You know very well, I mean, we have at a central control and command center.
Are they being used?
Absolutely. They are functional, they're being used, and they are connected to all the other security cameras that are in the various buildings. And as you might be aware, Hussein, in our fiscal planning laws, we've introduced that all new buildings will have security cameras.
Okay, the question is, we have not seen so many people getting arrested, especially for traffic offenses, using those cameras, because of those cameras. Again, going back to police records, which I have here, looking at what we have in Nairobi, offenses like stealing, robbery, these are things that happen in Nairobi, and they are on the rise. And according to, I mean, we can't see people being arrested if you're saying cameras are there.
I don't know what statistics you have, but
from the National Police.
I normally look at statistics. In the previous year, 12 months ago, the number of, the average monthly crimes reported were in excess of 800. I think August last year it was 880, 890. In August this year, it comes down to 551. That's a reduction of well over 40%. So actually, security is improving.
Are you satisfied with the level of security?
No, we could do better, because what is satisfactory if zero crime is reported. And that's what we should aim for, and that's what Nairobians are looking for.
Right.
But actually, security has improved.
Right.
And the government, together with the county government, are working very, very hard. And we must appreciate what the government has done in the last 1 year.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about in terms of issues of Nairobi. Obviously, we can't cover all. I'll try and cover what we can. Another 100-day pledge was getting garbage out of city streets and its residential districts. This has not happened, has it?
Yeah. Hussein, a year ago we were only collecting 40% of the 2,000 tons of garbage. And garbage is collected by other private collectors, the contracted collectors, and at that time the county had no capacity. So far we've bought 40 vehicles, and we collect well over 30% of garbage. The total garbage collected of the 2,000 tons has gone, which we pay for, is gone to 70%. From 40% in 12 months.
So are you satisfied still?
No, could be better. But you see, the issue of garbage should not just, Nairobians themselves have a responsibility. Because, I mean, I'm sure somebody has chucked out a bottle of soda when you're driving, or a packet of chips. Surely, I mean, we must find a way, we must be responsible enough, collect whatever we have, whether it is in a car or at home, so that when we get to a point, we put it in a place where it can be collected. But if we just throw it, it makes it that more difficult. So yes, the county has a responsibility, but us, as residents of Nairobi, we also have a responsibility.
On this one as well, you promise zero tolerance.
Absolutely.
When are we going to see that? That is the question.
We are doing a lot more. I mean, we are arresting people, we are charging people. But I think charging and arresting people is not sufficient. We will do a lot more civic education and get people to be responsible. I'll tell you a story. The other day, I mean, I was inaugurating a road in Madaraka, and grass was choking Madaraka flat. So I asked why. They said that the governor hasn't come. On somebody's door, he's saying the governor hasn't come. So I said, you expect the governor to come and cut grass on your doorstep.
Okay, one more thing, and we're coming to the politics of Dr. Evans Kidero, including his relationship with ODM and the former Prime Minister, or the party leader, ODM. Before we go to that, let's just finish a few issues here on Nairobi. I'm going to ask you a question from Omindo, an official of Kamkunji Juakali, as we also talk about hawkers and the menace of hawkers in this city, who's saying, I'm working at Kamkunji Juakali. Please ask the governor to help us, because at this moment, we're not able to sell our products following the pathway which is being done there. There's no entry point where we can offload and load our products. Bwana Governor, are you killing the SME sector? Please help us. And he's asking, are you killing the SME sector? That question has been asked because they are running battles every day, especially in areas around Gara and Globe roundabout. There's always running battles with hawkers, yet you want to support the SME sectors.
I think the two are different. I mean, when we talk about Shorimoya, where my friend is talking about, the backbone, the Juakali sector is very vibrant. It must be supported. Right. And if inadvertently the roads were blocked, I will see to it that access is made for them. As for the hawkers, I think there's no city in the world that would accept that the streets are turned into informal trading centers. Yes, I mean, there could be days when we could close and allow people to sell, which is what we're planning on doing. But we must maintain order. Let the people who sell their wares be in the markets or in the shops.
But how do you balance that? I mean, between order and I mean, we also need them, don't we?
I guess
they are your voters. We need them in the SME sector. What they do is very important for this country. Other cities, like you say, have struck a balance. They've found a way to work around with hawkers. Why are we finding still a problem? Every day we go, we see, I mean, running battles between city council askaris and...
I guess, I mean, these are symptoms. There are a lot more people in the informal sector. They don't have jobs, but also they would not exist unless people are buying their wares. So what we'll need to do is just balance, make sure that the interface between the people who are selling their wares in the informal, the formal sector do not interfere with either the formal businesses, and it does not interfere with the movement of people.
And the question is, how is that going to be done? And as you answer that, how and when, and why hasn't it been done yet? A balance has not been struck. People are still asking, when this happens, they see the brutality of city council askaris. Are you aware of that? Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I'm aware right now. I mean, what the government did a few years ago was to open the market at Mudhurwa, and obviously that was not sufficient. Currently, we are working on opening a market just below Kariako so that we can take them there. But I think there must be understanding that we cannot have a city that is chaotic, that you cannot move on the lanes and the pavements.
Okay, can we get a pledge from you? When are you going to, by what time are you going to handle this? By when are you going to handle this? To bring an end to this?
I'll do that in due course.
So no time, no specific date. Okay.
Yeah.
Brutality of city council askaris, what are you going to do about that, you're saying? You've heard about that? Harassment?
Actually, the image of the city has been spoiled by the city council askaris. What we are doing is we are retraining them on relations. We are educating them on how to handle people, so that this bad image that has been created over the years, we're over it, because we have them, and we have the county government because of the people who live in Nairobi. We cannot mishandle them. We cannot mistreat them.
Okay. I want to go into the issue of MCAs in Nairobi. You have been accused of doing nothing and not really being loud enough against the MCAs. Nairobi County Control of Budget 2013-2014 report says the average sitting allowance per month ranges from 17,219 in Isiolo to Nairobi, which is 262,000. I don't know how many times that is. Nairobi County as well had the highest expenditure of MCA sitting allowances at 299.8 million shillings. It surpassed their sitting allowance annual budgetary allocation to spend 299.8 against an allocation of 160 million. It also had the highest expenditure on personnel emoluments at 7.1 billion shillings. We've not really seen you go against this or talk against this.
Hussein, you know, their budgetary provisions, and you know the two arms of government, the legislature and the executive are independent and mutually exclusive in the way they operate.
That is true.
But I must say that, I mean, one, I have got an excellent working relationship with all the 85 MC. We have a total of about 126, 85 of them who are elected. And the MCS, if they did overspend, I think they've done it well within the budget that was that they had approved themselves. We are looking at this in the coming budget. Probably we will see where we rectify it. But it must be understood that as an executive, we have no control on the budget or on controlling the budget of the MCS.
Although you risk being accused to be just like them or overseeing that. Unless you talk against it.
I have. I mean, we discuss it formally within our, and we don't have to scream about it. But I'll tell you, we've got some of the best MCs in this country. They're well educated, they're articulate, they're bright, and they understand what needs to be done. Okay, because of time, I want to move into politics a bit. And I wish I had a soundbite here of what happened at Uhuru Park a while back. You remember when former Prime Minister Raila Odinga returned from the US to a rally at Uhuru Park. You tried to speak. You couldn't speak. You were jeered at. How did you take that? No, I took it in step. I think the people must have had reasons for why they did that. But in life, you'll always find people who are dissatisfied and satisfied. But that doesn't stop me from being a member of ODM. Is my party, and I have no apologies to make. It's a party that I'm very, very proud of, and it's a party that I'll continue being a member of. My relationship with my party leader is excellent. Many actually deducted this jeering and everything that day to the lukewarm relationship you have with ODM? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, you've seen, we've seen my party leader has been to my office. You saw on the last day when we were at the Supreme Court, the first person who was there who hugged me was my party leader when we won. We have an excellent relationship. You have an excellent relationship with Raila Odinga. Absolutely. Some have gone as far as to, intimate that you are the best person, or you could be the person to inherit, or you are keen, actually, you're keen on inheriting Raila Odinga's political constituency. I really don't know about that. Right now, I'm the governor of Nairobi, and all I want to do is to deliver service to the 44 communities who live in Nairobi as the governor. And this is no mean task. It's a fairly demanding, and as we've been discussing, you see, there are many, many things that needs to be done. There are many, many things that I need to do. There are many, many things that I've not been able to deliver as I had promised. So that is what I'm keen on doing, and that's what I'll do. You don't necessarily toe the party line, as they say in ODM, do you? I don't know what people mean by saying I don't know the party line. So the party line. Fortunately, that is what they say. I tend to speak my mind fairly openly. Like when I thought that the party elections were not appropriate at the best time to do it, because it came immediately after the elections. Right. And I did speak about it. So probably because I speak my mind, people might think that I don't know the party line. Okay, I'll go into a specific instance. There was a time when there was this petition in Migori County. You were supporting Okoth Obado. And I believe in Nyando constituency, there was this Ford people, if I'm not wrong, Ford people candidate that you were supporting against Outa. And that went against what the party said. And I believe Professor Anyang' Nyong'o and the other people in ODM were very angered about this. And this is what I'm talking about. ODM is a member of CORD. And in Mathare, when Steve, it was agreed that he would stand. I said the way Steve was allowed to stand as a member of CORD, and the other CORD members would step down for him. Is on the same vein that I said any CORD member should be supported. And I said that for the Nyando, and I said that for Obado. So you don't believe it? That is going against... unfortunately, I mean, if it did rub anybody the wrong side for supporting the CORD stand, looking at it collectively, then I stand to be corrected. Are you supporting the referendum call by
the Quad Coalition, your party?
Hussein, the referendum and when it should take place is defined in Article 255, 256, and 257.
Right.
And Article 255 specifies which items a referendum must be held for. 256
right.
and 257. And
right.
all I said that in that line, a referendum is always the last, the last option.
Right.
I know that the counties need money. The government needs money.
But?
The government needs money. But even before we get to that, I've always said that the revenue allocation formula is fundamentally flawed. In that what drove devolution was development.
Okay.
And the revenue allocation formula should have been based on population, should have been based on the area, and should have been based on poverty index.
Right.
Unfortunately, the salaries were never part of the formula. So
okay.
all the money that counties are getting are going into salaries. So probably even to look at the money that's going, I would have started looking, is the formula appropriate?
All right.
My answer is no.
Okay.
So probably I would have started that. If that fails, then we must continue paying salaries. Then yes. So, can we get compensation for the salary salaries that we are paying?
Okay.
If
so
the answer is no, if the answer is no, I mean I would go sequentially.
That's what I'm saying. That should be, like you said, the last resort.
Thing, the last resort.
And that is not, according to you, you're not going against what the party
Absolutely,
feels.
Because I support what will bring more money to the counties.
That is almost contradictory. Okay, but you're saying it should be the last resort. The party now looks at it as the first and the only resort.
No, I don't think the party looks at it as the first and the only resort. I mean, I'm with the Council of Governors,
okay.
And the Council of Governors have also said that we need to look at all the other options.
Okay, finally, your relationship with other Nairobi leaders. Senator Mike Sonko, who severally accused you of corruption. He was here and came with a lot of files, but I couldn't let him show them without you here. Maybe if you promise me, I'll bring both of you some other time. He severally accused you of corruption. What do you have to say to that?
Senator Sonko is a good friend of mine, and I think probably he's now thought about it because the audit results he was looking at were the 2008, 2009, and 2010 when I was in the governor of Nairobi.
Okay, maybe you can promise us we'll bring him here with
Absolutely.
You some other time. And finally, your relationship with Nairobi County Woman Representative Rachel Shebesh and the famous slap.
Hussein, as I said, that was very, very unfortunate. I apologize about it. It shouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, it did. But we got back together and we worked very well together with my sister, Rachel Shebesh. She's a good friend of mine.
Do you regret what happened?
I do.
And critics talk about it as a very expensive slap?
Emotionally, yes.
Emotionally?
Yes.
How did it affect you that day? And what really triggered you to do that? How did it affect you after that? The media covered it and everything.
An event that probably I would like to forget. It happened. I regretted it. I was sorry about it, and probably is better left to be forgotten.
Okay, because of time, we'll have to wind it up. There are a lot of issues. We hope we touch on some of the issues you're concerned with, but of course we know there are a lot of issues that we haven't talked about that affect Nairobi County. The governor has undertaken to try and come here every month if we would like him to come, so the other issues will be handled, including water, and there are a lot of other issues in Nairobi County. Honorable Governor Dr. Evans Kidero, thank you so much for making time for the big question tonight.
Thank you very much. One of the things we've done is we have a complaint center, and anybody who wants to get in touch with the governor can get in touch with him at ikidero@nairobi.goke, or call me directly on my number 020 222 4281.
Okay, 020 222 42 81. Nairobi Governor Dr. Evans Kidero, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you very much
for the big question. We are asking tonight, are you satisfied with Dr. Evans Kidero's performance as the Nairobi County Governor? Keep sending us your comments on #2 on Twitter using the hashtag The Big Question. We'll read them at the end of this bulletin. We'll take a short break now.